There, a code red emergency has been declared in the area. Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi Same is tackling that story for us and joins us now live for more. Good evening to you, Nasiphi. If you could give us the latest update on that code red and what residents are saying.
Well, residents at Die Kop informal settlement, many of them are not willing to evacuate following that notice that was issued this morning for their safety. And that was considering how close the fire, the blaze was. And speaking to the community leader there, he's still appealing to the residents to adhere to that call by the municipality and evacuate and go to where it is safe. He has said that he has done what one could say a door-to-door with law enforcement to inform residents to evacuate, and also said that they are committing as the structures or the committee structure that they will stay behind and ensure that homes are not broken into. But to give us an overall view of the fire situation here in Overstrand Municipality, where we know fire crews, firefighting operations continue, battling two simultaneous fires. I am joined by Lester Smith, who is the Overstrand Municipality Fire Chief and Disaster Management Officer. So thank you so much for your time. But if you could give us an overall picture of how it's currently looking like. I mean, this morning we received the update from the municipal manager, but where are we looking like? How are we looking like now?
Good evening, all. Yeah, I think from today, as you know, yesterday we had a northwesterly wind, so the fire spread it more to your Elam side. This morning there was a complete wind shift or wind change, so we're dealing with a south-southeasterly wind, so that fire basically came back to us. So early this morning we already part of our incident plan that we managing from the incident command post at the Stanford fire. So we deal with two fires, but I'm first going to give you the update on the Stanford area, where we currently are. So this morning we already anticipated, because of the wind that's going to change, the fire is going to move towards the Stanford side. So we brought in more crew as well as more vehicles, and we also activated a helicopter. So the first priority this morning was to protect infrastructure at the Bergenhead side of this fire, and eventually we also requested another aerial resource for the Kop informal settlement side. So due to the wind that picked up, as I said, we were dealing with a south-southeasterly wind, and normally there's some wind shifts between the certain time period. So eventually a precautionary evacuation was called for the Kop, because we knew the fire is moving to that area. So we've sent in our MMC as well as other role players just to inform the public to get ready. Approximately an hour later, there was another wind shift, and we've called on a full evacuation for the Kop. And as you also explained, some people decided they want to leave. Unfortunately, some wanted to stay. However, the situation became more difficult, and most of them decided they're going to leave. So other municipal transport was brought in just to move the public to the Stanford Community Hall. So at this stage, the fire is still out of control. We're still using aerial resources at this fire. And we currently have City of Cape Town, as well as Overstrand, Overberg, District Municipality, as well as Drakensberg Municipality, doing structure protection. Also areas where we can do proper mop-up, we send them in. We also have our volunteers, wildland services, as well as the working on fire on the scene. And I think also important is the Greater Overberg Fire Protection Association that also coordinate the landowners for us. I think that is important. They know the area, they have the knowledge of where to go in and all of that. So during the next period, we anticipate that some areas will still come down the R326. So at this stage, the R326 is still closed. The R43 between Stanford and Gansbaai is a stop and go. So the reason for that is, as we know, this is a holiday town, so a lot of people move in this area. So we've did an assessment, and the smoke got better, so that is why we've opened that area. So at this stage, still active firefighting from all resources on this fire.
I'm curious to find out about Pearly Beach. At some point, It seemed like the situation was, kind of under control, but we understand that there has been a flare-up this afternoon.
Yeah, currently, in the Pearly Beach area, we had 3 flare-ups earlier. So the first area that flare up was near the resort. So aerial resource was requested through that incident command post. So we've diverted one of the helicopters that was working on this area. So they currently working on that area at the resort. So we have the aerial resources as well as ground teams. Then we also have Swartland Municipality, Overstrand Municipality, Overberg District Municipality, and other landowners just to ensure that the fire don't jump into the resort. And also the main objective is to protect property and also ensure that everyone is safe. There was another flare-up in the Evacuation side. At this stage, I was informed by the incident commander on that side. He's struggling to keep that fire, but we also called in a evacuation order for that. So the municipality sent out an SMS as well as our law enforcement doing loud hailing as well as a Facebook post that was updated. So at this stage, people are warned. We do have resources fighting that fire. But at this stage, it is on that side, there is a lot of activity with regards to the 3 flare-ups. And we also have the flare-up at Danefeld Game Reserve that they also requested vehicles. So we've sent vehicles to assist on that side as well. So yeah, as you can see, the wind is picking up and the wind will continue south to southeasterly in both areas, around about 35 kilometers an hour, gusting about 56, 57. That normally do have an implication on the behavior of the fire, and especially in this dry and windy conditions.
Lester, I'm curious now, when the sun sets, we know that the helicopters will be grounded and will not be, giving that aerial support. So what will happen? Are there also any identified hotspot areas that you're keeping an eye on?
Yeah, what we did earlier, when the helicopter came to refuel, we had a discussion with the pilot. He firstly need to do a reconnaissance of this whole area and must identify areas that he will still be able to put out for us before they need to leave. So Felicitia is a farm just on the other side of Stanford. He anticipated there will be challenges tonight, so we've sent him in. He just informed us he's doing good. So the other areas that was also identified, part of our planning will then to make sure that we've put in enough resources just to keep the fire for the night. So what we normally do with all our fires, if there is still high-risk areas, we make sure that we do get enough resources just to be there for the night and to make sure that they protect structures and property as far as possible.
We'll have to leave it there. That is Lester Smith, who is the Overstrand Municipality Chief Fire and Disaster Management Officer. It does seem that it is going to be a very long night for the men and women that are at the front line at containing the fire here in Overstrand Municipality, currently battling 2 simultaneous fires, a flare-up in Pearly Beach, as we were there just this Wednesday, where it seemed to be that the firefighters were a couple of steps ahead when it comes to the fire. However, with the pickup of the wind, we're hearing now that also presents a challenge when it comes to containing the fire. Several evacuations have been announced for various communities where the communities are going to be moved to a safer place, a hall in particular. And at the forefront, the municipality is saying that they want to protect lives, property, but also ensure the safety of those that are currently in the front line of containing this wildfire that has been, ravaging through this municipality for a couple of days.
Nasiphi, thank you so much for that detailed report. It will be a long night indeed, as you had just said, so we look forward to more updates.